Road of the Games episode. Jeff Buckley, hit it! If you would like to become a master at losing body fat and gaining muscle at the same time around your current lifestyle, you want to do it in a fun and entertaining way, and you want to join the Double A gang, you just need to stick around for this next Road to the Games episode. Let's go! Good afternoon, team. I hope you like my look. It's a very, I call it the moist warrior. Not sure where warrior came from, but this is sweat after being on the bike. I'm still going on the bike more frequently than running at the moment, just because of my niggle in the calf area. Hopefully that should go within the next week. I'm sure it'll be fine. But when I do the bike, I do it for about 45 minutes, just over, to do the equivalent of what I do on a run. And at the moment, it's quite nice because I'm listening to a lot of Christian podcasts. But today, I'm having a bit of a phase of Stormzy and Pentatonics, which is a bit of a random mixture of song genres. So Stormzy is Blinded by Your Grace, really like that one. And Pentatonics is their version of Hallelujah. You just have some songs that you resonate with for some reason. Honestly, I got the camera out to say hello, obviously. But yeah, I'm kind of putting off doing squats and looking at the barbell right now. Over there. I think I need Vegeta. Let's do this. What's up, team? With this commentary, I'm going to briefly explain the workout, and then I'm going to give you a few tips in regards to gym essentials I'd recommend you have when you first start going to the gym, and you can apply this if you're an intermediate lifter like me who's been lifting for about 5.5 years. So with this workout, I've got some new weight plates. There's some 2 5-kilogram weight plates that I got from Decathlon. And they are really good, so it means I can go a bit heavier with my deadlifting and my squatting. I am going to be joining a CrossFit gym very soon because I'm inquiring at a lot of different CrossFit gyms that are local to me. But with this workout, just so I don't digress too much, I did 122 kilograms for 5 sets of 5. That was the plan. I did 3 sets of 5, and then I think I got 2 sets of 3 after that, but on the last set I think I had to do 2 reps and then 1 more rep after a little rest. So I'm still progressing up to doing 5x5, and then I'll up the weight after I can do that pretty comfortably. Then I was doing some front squatting. I wanted to make sure I did a bit of that, and then I did this complex. So the front squats I did 5 reps. Then I followed that by standing lunges, making sure I do a little bit more on my right leg rather than my left because of this calf niggle I'm going to explain in the video. And then after that I did some push jerks with the same weight. So I did kind of like a complex for that round. And then here you're seeing some deadlifts at 128 kilograms. Something I'm personally trying to work on with my form is that although I feel like I set up well, I still tend to lean forward quite a lot, which won't tie over well with the clean and jerk as I slowly master that. And I'm planning on mastering the clean and jerk, obviously doing my own technique work at home, but I want to get some proper guidance at a CrossFit gym when I eventually join it. But I did the deadlifts, so I want to stay more upright, when doing a normal clean and jerk. So I did the deadlifts and went into 15 reps with the slightly larger range of motion press-ups with the handles. And then here you're seeing some rehab work I'm doing with my calf at the moment. So you saw the compound movements, the complexes, and then at the end of workouts what I like to do is sort out imbalances or anything that I'm trying to correct. So my calf was with that exercise by doing one-legged hyperextension on the right side. Then I do more side raises on my left side just because I always feel my right shoulder take over the movement when doing any pressing motion. So I want to try and build up my left shoulder a bit more. And then finally after that, I did some static holds with the deadlifts. This was just 100 kilos. Just to get my isometric strength in the erector spinae area and my lats. I want to get them really strong because that will tie over well with strength and conditioning in general, but with the Olympic lifting. And then I was just practicing some snatch. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, your time is much appreciated. And make sure you join the AA gang by hitting that subscribe button. Hello, the time is currently 6:15 on Sunday evening, I had to think about the date there. It's the 24th of February, and I've just been to a evening service at St John's in Crawley, which is a really, really good church. It's got a great balance of reflection time, really good teaching, vibrant worship. It's a really good church. For me personally, some other people prefer churches which are a bit more just reflective. Some prefer really, really vibrant all the time. That's fine, but that church really works for me. I'm just about to have 2 eclairs. It's like toffee but then chocolate in the middle by Cadbury's, about 34 calories per one. I really like them. But I'm going to tell you about my calf niggle that I keep mentioning in videos and I haven't actually fully explained up until now. First of all, I'm actually going to drive home, and then once I get home, I'm going to tell you my game plan with this calf injury I currently have, which has stopped me from running actually, because I've only been doing the bike. I'll explain that all once I'm home. Here we go. Do you know what? I used to find driving really scary, and even before a driving lesson or just going out onto the dual carriageway, I used to get very, very nervous and had to really concentrate on the road and look everywhere. But then now it just comes as a second nature. I think that could be applied to pretty much anything in life. It's very fearful, the task may seem very difficult to start with, the problem may seem really big, but if you break it down, if you work at little elements of it, or if you just try and approach it slowly and practice certain bits, or with the problem, you tackle one bit of the problem first and the next bit, then it will slowly become easier to tackle and to conquer, and then eventually you'll do it. Now I'd like to tell you about my calf injury. Initially, it was because I hadn't renewed my running shoes. Admittedly, I've definitely learnt from this. I hadn't renewed my running shoes for a very long time. So I've become very flat-footed, I think, with my running stride. Years ago, I had to go to physio and a chiropractor, I think, as well. Or it might be the combination of both. This was about 7 years ago, I reckon, 2012. I was into my fitness very much so, but I didn't have much knowledge. And what I was finding is I was doing loads and loads of running, but I was getting a little bit, I think, of back pain on the right side. And when I went to the physio, basically my hips were a bit out of alignment, so what he did some manipulations, and I wasn't aware that I'd have to keep going back if I wasn't to do any strengthening exercises and stretching and whatnot. But he gave me some insoles, which meant that rather than running onto the medial side, the inside of my foot, as I placed my foot down, I started to run more on the lateral sides, on the outside of the foot when I placed my foot down. And I believe it's in our family, because I'm pretty sure my grandpa gets it a bit, but that we all dominate on the right side, so we have slightly longer right leg than the left leg just in life. So what I found recently is when I didn't renew my running shoes is that they started to not support me, and I was a bit lazy to not get any more running shoes, and then I started to get some pain in my right calf, especially on the medial side of the right calf at the top, so the top left bit. For some reason I was getting a really tight area, and then I was really starting to get that recently, even though I renewed my running shoes at Christmas. So I had my old running shoes for about, I don't know, 10, 12 months, I reckon, which is too long. And then I got some new running shoes for Christmas. I started using them. And then I still was getting this pain on the right side. Although, usually I leave it a month or two when I get new running shoes and the pain goes, but this one wasn't going. And then I've been starting to compensate more onto my right leg because of the calf niggle, which I've been rolling out loads. And it's got to the point where I started to get like a shooting pain that went up that goes up my right leg when I place my foot down in a certain way. Lots of movements are fine. It's only a very particular movement. So when I move to the right and then back to the left, so lateral movements, when I place lots of stress into the right leg, which is when I feel the shooting pain. So I've had to do recently, I've had to chuck my ego out the window, I wanted to run because I feel like I still can when I get going, but it's not going to make the leg better. So I'm doing lots of stretching on my right side. And I do believe that the dumbbell snatch niggle that I got recently, where I did a dumbbell snatch without warming up and got a slight almost strain in my right erector spinae, I think that might have something to do with it as well. But I'm doing lots of cycling in the morning instead. So I do about 45 minutes of cycling compared to 35 minutes of running. So basically equivalent amount of calories burned. And I've definitely seen an improvement within for the past week. And I've been supplementing with glucosamine for joint health. For both my knees, it's benefiting them anyway. Omega-3 fish oils because my joints definitely improve when I have omega-3. And taking a multivitamin just in case. Just to top up getting the 7 portions of fruit and veg a day I normally get. I'm continuing to do this for a while. My strength certainly is going up, which is really good, and I think I'm about halfway there with recovery. I'm going to stick with this for another week. It could even be another 3 weeks, but I want to get it fully better before I start running again. I'm going to test it a little bit this evening, but not go back to running in the morning yet. I'm going to still keep with cycling, which I'm enjoying. Then I'm going to go back to the running, but not as frequent as I was doing it. So I'm going to do some running in the week and then some cycling in the week when I go back to my normal routine and the calf is fully improved and better. The main thing with this explanation of my calf injury at the moment is for you to learn about how I'm approaching this injury to be able to shorten the recovery time as much as possible so I can get back to normal running and cycling, as I'm going to be doing cycling and running at the same time, so I can just get back to normal training. But I want you to apply it to your own, if you're experiencing a niggle at the moment, an injury, so you can recover in the shortest time possible as well. So here I've got calf anatomy. Don't worry about all the words. I'm going to keep it fairly simple. So you can see here you've got the gastrocnemius, the medial head and the lateral head. I'm only going to focus on 3 main things here: the soleus calf muscle, which is just beneath the gastrocnemius, Achilles tendon over here. I'm going to focus more on the medial head of the gastrocnemius because I'm experiencing on my right leg, if you imagine the gastrocnemius, this is my right leg here, I'm experiencing a niggle just around here. So every time I place my foot down, I feel like I get a nerve pain that goes right up through my leg. So normally sciatica, which is just usually a slipped disc or something, the pain goes down the leg, but I'm experiencing it up the leg. And then when I put pressure on my right calf, I feel like I have to put loads of pressure, and I feel almost some tenderness in the soleus, which lies just beneath the gastrocnemius, I believe. So if I show you on a larger figure of human anatomy, so the calves are down here. But then what I'm finding is when I place my foot down, I'm ever so slightly compensating when running because I still have to do coaching. And it's fine, but I do feel uncomfortable, and it's something I want to get rid of because I'm not able to do running like I normally do, and I'm doing a lot more cycling at the moment, as you know. So if this is my right foot here, then I'm placing my foot down slightly differently, and then rather than the weight when I'm running transferring normally through my leg upwards here, I'm finding it's going more onto the outside of my leg. So if you look at this YouTube video here, I've slowed it down ever so slightly. You can see this guy running. So I'm finding that the pressure is going more onto the right side of my right leg, and then the muscle groups being affected and becoming a lot more tight, I found recently, are the gluteus medius, the tensor fascia lata, the pectineus, so all the muscle groups that are located around this area, so like the side of the hip and just in the front next to the rectus abdominis, so like where the hip flexors are. I'm finding they're becoming a lot more tight, and then I'm experiencing a little bit of pain that's going down the right side of my leg. It's not severe, but something I want to get rid of. So in order to get rid of this, what I'm doing is a mixture. I'm doing more cycling at the moment, but I'm also having to roll out these muscle groups a lot and keep them very supple so I don't experience any tightness and start compensating. And then what I'm also doing is stretching out the calf, the soleus and the gastrocnemius. I'm applying ice to it as well, and I'm keeping the pressure off it as much as I can. But squatting, everything else is fine. It's just running that I'm having to be careful of. So I'm trying to run as little as possible. Coaching, I'm obviously having to run, but I found after a week and a half of just doing cycling, keeping up my normal gym routine, that I'm actually seeing a great improvement. I'm still a long way from recovery, but I think after another 2-3 weeks, I'll be back to normal. So you can apply this to your own lifestyle, review the anatomy, think about how your other muscle groups are being affected, and make sure you implement the correct training interventions in order for you to shorten the recovery time as much as you can. I just wanted to quickly talk about the church service I've been to. For those of you who are exploring faith, if you're just wondering what faith is and what the whole concept of it is, you don't have to be a Christian, then I'd recommend something called the Alpha course, which I'm doing currently, just to explore a few of life's questions. It's really good. There's probably one in your local area. At church, we were looking at a bit in the Bible, Romans 8, where it talks about the love of Christ. But the main thing to take away from this, 3 words that really stood out for me in this passage when we had the talk on it. And the phrase is more than conquerors, because I listened to a song by Rend Collective, a Christian band called More Than Conquerors. And it's just trying to tell you that the love of Christ will come above anything of this world. Any problems you have, any anxieties, any fears, any tribulations, it will come above all of that. And then that helps you to have just this inner peace when you go about to do your daily activities, because you don't need to worry. Now, physique-wise, if you compared my body weight, I am going to do this in the next Road to the Games episode, but actually chuck up some images of what I looked like at this body weight either 1 or 2 years ago. I'm going to show you about the body fat distribution, how it's slightly changed, because I've found that I'm just below 80 kilograms. I'd say I'm between 79 and 80 kilograms body weight. And I've found that my body fat percentage is probably slightly lower at this body weight than when I was at this body weight beforehand a couple of years ago. And then also the body fat distribution across the whole body, I think, has been spread more evenly compared to before. So usually I held a lot more in the abdominal region, whereas this time I do feel like I'm a bit leaner. Although obviously I don't look shredded like I did at 70 kilograms, but performance wise I feel very strong with this body weight. I feel like I still look good, and I want to keep on progressing upwards to 85 kilograms, 90 kilograms body weight, and then cut back down whilst keeping performance high. That's my main priority for CrossFit, and just seeing how I lean down so I can keep my aerobic capacity also very high. It's going to be interesting to see this journey for myself, and then also just to give you guys an idea about how your body weight can change by slowly implementing calories and using the right training interventions to be able to develop a physique and muscle mass and lose body fat at the same time. Enjoy the rest of the video. Hello, it's Tuesday the 26th of February. Rocking my AA shirt. If you're interested in any of that stuff, I've left a link to the merchandise store in the YouTube description where you can grab shirts and jumpers and stuff. I've just done a morning of personal training. I'm about to do some sports coaching this afternoon, but I need to fill you in on a little story that you over there, this little lady, has caused a bit of disruption in this household over the past week, which she needs to tell you about. Come here. Yeah, you're guilty. What? Don't knock over the camera. Danny. Are you going in there? So we're going to have to follow wherever she wants to go. Where are you going? Mate, she got a bit of an attitude, hasn't she? So this little girl, the other week, well, you're not a little girl, are you? You're about 30, she's about 13, 14 years old. She, I don't know if she ate something bad, but in the middle of the night, that last week on Tuesday, I had to clear up some sick, and I thought it was just nothing because you came and told me about it. But then I think the day after she became significantly weaker, I think, and then eventually she had to be taken to the vets. She thought she had something called pancreatitis, maybe something that she ate, but she had a really sensitive stomach and she couldn't really eat that well. She had to stay at the vets overnight, and we honestly thought that there was a point where you're going to have to stay. She was getting some blood tests, and we thought, well, that's kind of it, innit? But then, on Thursday or Friday last week, Dana was collected from the vets and prescribed a medication, but the previous 2 nights I'd been sleeping with her because she'd come home from the vets just for the overnight before going back the next day. so I'll just sleep in with her, providing her some comfort. She's made a miraculous recovery. She's pretty much back to her normal self. She likes to thieve food. She's always obsessed with apples, but we don't give them to her. But the thing here, her diet at the moment is not her dog food. She's having chicken and rice, you have fish and rice, and you also have scrambled egg. So I think the key thing for any dog to stay healthy is eat a bodybuilder's diet. Would you agree? Or do you want me to leave you alone? I don't know if you heard that sigh, but I think that means she wants to be left alone. We've reached the end, I'm afraid. It really is quite a sad time, actually. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover in future episodes, just let me know in the YouTube comment section below. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend, whatever time of week it is. And I look forward to seeing you in my next Lean Bulk full day of eating. Little snippet of it. It's more fast food orientated. Not the speed of the food moving, by the way. See you then. Say hello. I'm not taking that out. Huh? Oh, very nice. Oh, what's that? Grace, it's health and fitness, not chocolate. How good of you. I'm explaining my calf injury, so I'm going to... Yes, but I'm explaining my calf injury first. Quite a few minutes. Bye. It's Mum! Wait, why are you doing a walk-up again? What are you doing? Oh, let's pretend I'm acting natural. And here comes Mum! That's hilarious. Mum, I'm coming in a second. Give me a sec. Mum, give me a sec. Mum, give me a sec! Give me a sec, Mum. I'm nearly done. I'm coming in. Yes. Have you one? There you go. Banter. So the inside... Oh, I lost the camera then.